Hello. Radhe or Radhe. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. May this be an offering to Sri Radha Krishna. And as we await our first guests to arrive, allow me to set the intention for this special ASMR Sunday edition of the live, where I put an emphasis on relaxation and validation, spiritual affirmation. I will try to be as soft-spoken as I can throughout this whole live stream, and hopefully I don't raise my voice and wake anyone up if anyone falls asleep, or go too deep into any concept. So it'll be a nice and simple live today. Hello, B525. Thank you for your pair of roses. You have blessed us so early on with them. Radhe, Radhe. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. Now, how do I pronounce your lovely name? Chichawatni. You shared that you were thinking about me earlier today. No, huh? Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for thinking of me. Welcome. Alexander, you got a question for us. How do you meditate? Well, if you're asking how do I specifically meditate, I try to be meditative more than setting times where I meditate. What it means to be meditative for me is to give myself unto each action and dedicate each action for that consciousness that pervades every being, that divinity. That's called karma yoga. If you're asking for a tutorial in meditation, I'm probably not the best person to teach you. Am I in my jammies? Asks Sarah. I look so cozy. I suppose you could say I'm in my jammies. I am in a housecoat indeed. And hello, Gabriella. This day has treated me well. Thank you for asking. Hello, Anna. Welcome. This is my microphone. I got fangs, says Angel. Do I really? Could I be a vampire? I'm probably as pale as one. Speaking of which, Chicha, you're wondering, what is my ethnicity? Well, I'm a second-generation Canadian. If you go 3 generations up, I think most of my family is from Ireland. Thank you for asking, Jake. My day has been well. But as for my race, I'm a part of the human race. I am an earthling, like all of us here. Except for some of you. Some of you are probably more like aliens, but namaste, Chloe. Michael, you're wondering, do I have any words on temptation of any sort? Temptation. Desires are natural. We all have them. There isn't a person in the world that can be said to be free of them. As long as we are beginning to tilt our desires towards something more selfless instead of selfish, then that's all we really have to worry about. I'll tell you a big secret. No one ever succeeded in squashing their desires. It just doesn't work like that. If you try to minimize something that you want, you'll just want it even more. instead of trying to get rid of negative ones, let's just try to change it to positive ones. That involves a deeper understanding of yourself, having a more inclusive sense of self, where you feel a sense of aliveness, not in this body alone, but in the space around you, in the people in your life. Having a more inclusive sense of self just naturally leads to more selfless desires, where we genuinely desire for the welfare of people around us too. And thank you, Rsi, for your octet of finger hearts. I appreciate that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Gabriella, you're wondering if the Irish name Greer, I've never heard of that name, is anyone anywhere in my past generations. No, but my name is very Irish. My first name, my given name, is Liam, from William, which is a very Irish name. And my last name is Boylan, also very Irish, from the O'Boylahans. Thank you, Kristen, for your money gun. I appreciate that. Making it rain. Hare Krishna. I have a question of the day for you all, and it's very similar to the question that Jake asked me as we began. Today I'm wondering from you all, how has your day been? I know it's a difficult question. I often ask very philosophical, mind-bending questions. But today I'd like to check in with you. It's been beautiful, shares Raccoon. I'm very happy to hear that. And you asked what does Krishna mean? Krishna literally means one whom forcibly attracts the minds of all Paramahansas. To understand that, we have to know what a Paramahansa is. Maybe we can talk about that later. Master Eric, you share your day has been alright. Hello, the Arctic Soph. Good evening, Inclusa. Kristen, you share today has been difficult. That's alright. Speaking of alright, Chloe, you share your day has been alright. And hello, G2 Infinity. Thank you, dear Kristen, for your beautiful flowers as well. Radhe or Radhe. Eileen, thank you for your pair of tiny tinies. Yippee! And spiritual vibes. Thank you for your community fest. Hariom Tatsat. Internal silence you shared. Day has been rainy, which is good. You like rain? Me too. Michael, you share. It's funny how this can be as deep or simple of a question as you please. Exactly. Whatever you are comfortable sharing. Dale, you share. It's been beautiful and slow. You've enjoyed little things in nature and it made you happy. Oh, good. Thank you, Kristen. I'm happy to have you here. Griminim, you share you've been feeling anxious all day. Me too. I feel you there. Thank you, Anthony, for your heart me and pair of best teams. Jai Sitaram. Leisurely recall. You've been busy as a bee. Also gorgeous. Oh, I'm happy you've had a busy and gorgeous day. That sounds like a very active one. Inclusive, you share, I'm always so calm, even anxious. I give that vibe. It's funny. I think I'm the most calm, anxious person. I think I've had people in my personal life tell me this too, that, they've asked me how I'm feeling. And I say, I'm feeling pretty anxious right now. And they go, what? You seem so peaceful. I guess I'm partly at peace with my anxiety. Anxiety can be peaceful. It's hard to explain. But if you can kind of get what I'm throwing, if you can relax into the sensation of anxiety, it's actually not a bad experience. And it always passes on its own. Spicy dragon roll you share, it's been rough. That's understandable. And Amma, you're wondering, why am I anxious today? I don't know. I'm sure if I really thought about it, I could come up with a reason. But I've learned that I don't have to know. And that's partly what makes it more manageable, is that it's just an experience. We don't always have to rationalize our emotions unless we're trying to figure out why. Who knows? And thank you, Vanessa, for your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. It's funny, Sarah. I'm glad we can relate. Mm-hmm. FFD Live, you share that you've only seen me a couple times and you don't understand the polarization of my figure. Can I explain in 2 or 3 sentences? Well, I think if I understood the question, perhaps. But I don't know what you are asking, in all honesty. If you're asking, why is it that some people seem to react to my presence, they are provoked by it, whereas other people are more relaxed in my presence? I wish I could tell you. I think my peacefulness sometimes threatens the lack of theirs, because it forces them to introspect. Why is this guy so relaxed? And why am I not? There's a cognitive dissonance there. And thank you, Anthony, for your 10 TikToks. Hari Om Tat Sat. Now, thank you everyone for exploring my question of the day with me. I'm happy to accommodate all your guys' days that you're having, all the emotions scattered throughout. Chloe, you share that you have a little headache. That's okay. And Vanessa, you share that your day's been calm and you recharged from a busy week. How has my day been? It has been good so far. Thank you for asking. Kalula, you were wondering, what does yardy yardy mean? Well, I assume you're referring to Radhe or Radhe, which can be transcribed as R-A-D-H-E. R-A-D-H-E. Radhe or Radhe. That is an ancient greeting, and mantra, which refers to a form of the Divine Mother known as Radha. You have there. Radha. Radha. Radhe is like saying, "Oh Radha," Sanskrit, from which the language of which her name comes from, has such a precise grammatical structure where you can even change some of the vowel sounds of a person's name to indicate their vocative form, that you are vocating in their direction. So Radhe or Radhe means salutations to Radha. And that is a misconception, Sky Guardian. You will find that Radha is indeed mentioned even in the Vedas. However, devotion towards her is relatively recent, but her name does appear through the scriptures. I don't happen to have any examples on hand, but I watched a video of someone going through this misconception and showing many different examples of where the name Radha appears. Thank you, Amma, for your hand hearts. Here's some for you too. Hare Krishna. Alright, I would like to read from another section of this book that we've been reading today, called The Hidden Power in Humans, Chakras and Kundalini. It was a book gifted to us by one of our viewers, Usha, and Usha Bai has sent it all the way from Serbia, from her guru, the author Paramahans Swami Maheshwarananda. I look forward to reading from another section of this. We left off discussing how our ultimate nature is Satchit Anandam. Satchit Anandam means existence, consciousness, and bliss. And the goal of yoga is to realize that that is our true nature. This section is a change in topic. It's all about karma, a word that we've all heard but probably don't know the technical details of. Actions and destiny. Consciousness is in everything that exists, the elemental force of the universe that vibrates in every atom. The development of consciousness commences first at the level of the stone and continues in metal, crystal, and vegetation. Plants already have the ability to feel, but are not able to express or communicate their feelings to others. At the next level of development are life forms such as coral and anemones that appear to be plants but actually belong to the animal kingdom. Then come fish, birds, mammals, and finally humans as the most highly developed earthly beings. Some of the more highly evolved animals have developed a certain limited capacity to discriminate, but humans are the only living beings on Earth with comprehensive discrimination and free choice over their actions. Only we humans are capable of consciously shaping and changing our life. Because we are I-conscious and behave willfully, we also bear responsibility for our behavior. That is why cosmic law of karma is valid for us humans. Literally, karma means action or deed. It relates to the verb, say, karomi, which means I do, I act in this way. The karmic law states that every action we take will at some time come back to us in the same way as it went out from us. Therefore, the most important precept that should be observed is to harm no one by our thoughts, words, or deeds. Now, mind you, of course, this is practically impossible, but we can strive for the least harm. We produce karma in 4 ways: through thoughts, through words, through actions that we perform ourselves, and through actions that others do under our instructions. Put briefly, everything that we have ever thought, spoken, done, or caused is karma, as is also that which we think, speak, or do this very moment. After death, the physical body remains on the earth and decays. The elements detach from one another and return to their source. We again find ourselves as a bodiless spiritual being in the astral plane. Because of the subtle sheaths, the astral, the mental, and the causal bodies continue to exist. In these, all our feelings, knowledge, and memories remain. But there is one thing we lose after death, the Kriya Shakti. Kriya literally means work, performance, and Shakti means power. The ability to act. Only in the physical body are we capable of doing good or bad. After death, we are unable to do anything. Our earthly possessions, title, and position no longer have any value. Whatever level we reach in the cosmos depends entirely upon our karmas. There are 3 types of karma: Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Kriyamana karma. Sanchita literally means the accumulated or amassed. Sanchita karma is the accumulated karma from all of our previous lives. It would be impossible to experience and endure all karmas in one life. Therefore, only a small part of the Sanchita karma comes into effect with each birth. Then there's Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha literally means that which has begun or started. This is karma. The portion of this is of the accumulated karma that has ripened and appears as a particular problem in the present life. It is already unfolding. Kriyaman karma, Kriyaman literally means created or produced, however, is everything that we produce in our present life, the karmas that we're currently undertaking. This karma flows into the Sanchita karma and consequently shapes our future. So, the 3 types of karma. The first is all the karma that we have accumulated since endless lifetimes, and the portion of that which is currently ripe enough to come to fruition is the Prarabdha karma. And then all the karma that we're currently adding to that bank account is the Kriyamana karma. With that glossary of terms, let's pause our reading of The Hidden Power in Humans there for now, and later we shall continue with this reading. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. And I always post these on YouTube. Don't worry, Iconic Nova. All the lives and all of the readings, they have their own playlists on my YouTube channels. All linked in the link tree in my bio. But I'm very grateful to read that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Usha, again for sending that. And now we can really talk about whatever you want after I like to start my lives with a question of the day and a short reading. And thank you, Jittercat, for your rose. Hare Krishna. Bjorn, thank you for sharing your good vibes with everyone. It's lovely. Eileen, you're wondering, have I ever been to a past life regression? I have not. No. Much love to you, iconic Nova. Inclusa, you are wondering, am I deleting your comments? Oh, I would never. In fact, that's not even something that's in my capacity. I don't have the ability to delete comments, nor do my moderators. Sometimes there are filters that the platform uses to filter certain words. I don't know the list of words that are filtered, so sometimes the algorithm isn't perfect in that it filters perfectly innocuous questions. So I am sorry about that. But no, I am not responsible for your comments not showing up. I'm sorry. And hello, Danny. Hello, Hari. Radhe, Radhe. Now you're wondering, what do I think about twin flames? Well, we use the term twin flames in many different ways. I don't know much about the modern ways we use that term, but I'll give you the ancient definition. The ancient definition has to do with the flow of consciousness. It's very different, but related to the way we use it today. When your awareness is flowing outward, so to speak, then that's one of the flames known as Shakti. We just talked about Shakti in the book. Shakti is the power, the potency to do stuff. When your consciousness is introspective, you could say it's going within, then that's the other flame known as Shiva, the indwelling consciousness. Shakti and Shiva are the twin flames, and they're personified as a couple. They're this eternal couple that exists through endless lifetimes, Shiva and Shakti. They exist within us also, as our feminine and masculine aspects. Not all of us are as balanced in these two aspects. Oftentimes, another person can help us balance our own inner aspects, like yin and yang. Maybe we're 75% like Shiva and 25% like Shakti. We're always introspective, but not very extroverted, you know? But someone in our life could be the complement of that. They're 75% like Shakti and 25% like Shiva. They're so extroverted, but they never go within. So, two people can come together and marry each other's twin flames, so to speak, where they become harmonized, and they, like osmosis, they begin to balance out between the two of them. So we might call the other person our twin flame, which is a beautiful metaphor because they balance something within you, just as we balance something within them. But technically speaking, the twin flames are aspects of the flow of your consciousness. They are both inside you. You are your twin flames, the flow of the outward consciousness and the flow of the inward consciousness. When we bring these two together, we have married our twin flames together. Shiva and Shakti become united in our heart. I hope that makes sense. And I think you can see how that relates to the modern way which we use the term. And thank you, Haley Queen, for your heart me. Eight-bit boy, you share your Shakti and your Shiva hate each other. They have different roles to play. They are not in contradiction, but in dance. Like a tango. You ever watched a tango dance? It's hard to tell. Are these lovers or are these enemies? They are lovers. But love always has odds. Love always has faces rubbing up against each other. Rough parts. As we come to find out how we can fit with each other. Now G to infinity, you ask, if a person has a balanced inner twin flame, does that imply that they don't need to meet with another? Yes. But I like your specific word choice. It's not to say they won't, it's just that it's no longer necessary. Because chances are then, if you're already balanced from within, then anyone else is going to put you out of balance. Two imbalanced people make each other balanced. But a balanced person and an imbalanced person, well, they just imbalance each other. But two balanced people, oh, now that's powerful. Because the complementary ratio of 50-50 is 50-50. So there is a complementary ratio. They become super balanced. They're balanced in themselves and they're balanced with their partner. That's a powerful relationship, that is. And thank you, FFD Live, for your understanding. Two balanced people, isn't that boring? Asks Sexican. Yeah. I agree with you. It's pretty boring. You know, if you're not signing up for drama in a relationship, are you really signing up for a relationship? No, it can be a beautiful thing. But you're right, it's a very different kind of flavor of a relationship. It's a very divine relationship, that is. That's the kind of relationship that you might find between archetypes like Krishna and Radha. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Emma. Ego says it's boring. Soul continues to expand with the other. And thank you, Linda, for your trio of roses. Saxon, you share that there's people at school that started beef ages ago and they added you again. You're scared. Oh boy. Well, you know what that means. They're either there to make amends or because they had unfinished business. It's okay. Well, you get to decide which of you have grown up. I hope you're the grown-up. If they're still in their childlike ways, and I'm referring to, of course, being childlike is very beautiful. Sometimes being an adult is messy, but also growing up can come with emotional maturity. Sometimes childhood is associated with emotional immaturity. It's in that way I mean to say that if they are still childlike but you are grown up, if you are emotionally mature but they are not, well, that's their loss. But yeah, I imagine that the feelings that they've inflicted upon you since those times are still with you. That's a reminder of how feelings can stick with us from our childhood and how it's so important to process them. And maybe this is a time to finally talk about that with this person, you know? I know a lot of people who get bullied later in life, they become friends with their childhood, or even lovers, which is funny. Children don't know how to express their emotions in healthy ways. They're still learning. I feel terrible. I used to bully my crush. This only happened once, but when I was in grade 5, I was in love with this girl, as much as a grade 5er can be in love. And I didn't know how to express my emotions, so I would bully her. Like, how does that make sense? It doesn't, but yeah. The point I'm trying to make is that we can't take the emotions that people inflict on us too seriously as children when we did not learn how to process or express our emotions in a healthy way. Adults do this too. Yeah, you are right, Anna. Hexagon, you share that in your language there's a saying that bullying means asking for love. Wow. That is profound. Saxon, you share that's what your mom said. She was like, she's probably into you or something. It's classic. As my old coworker Thurls used to say, if she says I hate you, it probably means she loves you. But she could also hate you. But I do hope that you are able to find resolution with this person or set boundaries. If you are not ready to have them in your life, you never have to be. That's okay too. There's no expectations there. I support you no matter what. Thank you, Sophia, for your rose a few moments ago. Inclusa, you ask, are narcissists immature or demons? Immature? Absolutely. Demons? Oh, we can't demonize what is a psychological condition. It's one of the many personality disorders described in the DSM, for example. It often arises, much like other personality disorders, through trauma. And we can't blame someone for being traumatized, nor does that excuse their behavior, but it can help us humanize them, literally. They need help just in the same way that people suffering from other mental conditions require help to get better. They have to be willing to accept that help, of course, which is especially difficult in the case of narcissistic personality disorder. If I'm not mistaken, that's practically part of what it means to be a narcissist, is that we come up with a persona that appears to be fulfilled, appears to be someone who is doing well. And that necessarily precludes the idea of asking for help. which makes it very difficult for narcissists to get help. Also, someone can have narcissistic traits but not necessarily have this condition, in the same way that someone can have autistic traits but not necessarily be up there on the autistic spectrum. I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist, so I can't really talk about what goes into a diagnosis, other than a lot of trust and communication. And thank you, Chris, for your trio of roses a few minutes ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Starlight Wow, thank you for your heart me. Jai Sintaram. And Gio, thank you for your cloud bread and heart me. Sounds like you've experienced a lot of suffering relating to this condition, Haley Queen. One of the subtle aspects of talking about narcissism, as many of us have experienced trauma from people who might have these traits, is that it often ignores the suffering. When we attribute it to someone else, we almost give our power away sometimes. So it's helpful, without discrediting the trauma you've experienced, to acknowledge that we have the power to heal from this trauma, and we can absolutely hold people accountable for the trauma that they've inflicted on us. At the same way, we are responsible for our healing journey, and that power to heal is entirely within us, and we can't give that power away. Thank you, Double FD, for your donut and your forever rosa. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. I'm happy to hear that you're healing, Haley Queen. And thank you, Usha Bai, for your hanging lights and rose. Om Kring Kalikaye Namaha. Rue, thank you for your heart, me too. I feel like that was a poem. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. And Kiki, thank you for your rose. Radhe Radhe. And thank you, Usha, for another rose. Om Namah Shivaya. And Klusa, you share, you don't know if you will ever heal. I believe that healing is possible for you. I don't know if there will ever be a time where you can say that I am healed in the past tense, as if my healing journey is behind me. But that doesn't mean we're not healing now. That the journey of healing isn't taking place already. Healing is a difficult journey. It feels complicated in the short term, but in the long term, it becomes more peaceful. But yeah, healing is hard. It is painful. Sometimes pain is an indicator that we are healing. Like, for example, if you break your arm, from the moment that it's broken to the time that you could say it's healed, does it start to feel good? Are you getting pleasure as your body puts it back together? Is it giving you dopamine? No, right? In fact, it hurts from the time that it's broken all the time to it's healed. And that healing actually is part and parcel due to the fact that things are moving around. Nutrients are being delivered to the muscles for growth and having to navigate between broken tissue. The process of our body being put back together can be painful while it's healing. And mental healing, I think, works in similar ways. That we can have a feeling of being fractured in our mind, and while bits and pieces of our identity become fused back together, we can experience mental pain such as anxiety and fear and depression. But that's all part of the healing journey too. And thank you, Jen, for your heart me. Hello, Chihiro. Speaking of pain, you share that you're hungover and in pain. Oh, well, I hope that you had fun, and I hope that those fun memories last with you forever. Mermander, you're wondering, you know that I struggled with anxiety. Did I get panic attacks, and how did I move through it? I never got panic attacks in a stereotypical sense. But you're right, I do experience anxiety and still do. However, anxiety attacks are something that I've experienced. And the difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack is subtle. A panic attack may come on quickly, and you might have a sudden, intense fear, and you might lose control of your breath rate, and it dissipates over time. An anxiety attack comes on very slowly, maybe even over a day or an hour, and after a few hours, suddenly, well, I guess not suddenly, but you reach this peak of anxiety where you're just filled with dread. And you might have a grasp on your breath. You might be able to be breathing slowly this whole time, but your emotions are so intense. And that was the kind of anxiety that I experienced. And sometimes the anxiety can go just as fast as a panic attack starts, so it's almost like the equal but opposite in some sense, or it can also trail out long too. Yeah, but you're wondering, what was the specific way you put that? How did I move through it? Well, I'm either able to calm myself down through deepening my breath and giving myself affirmations or something to work on, like a creative project. I find that sometimes just watching videos seems to only increase my anxiety, so if I can engage myself in a creative project, like drawing, that really helps. Other times I throw up. And usually that's the peak of my anxiety. My body just feels like it has to eject something. And then I feel better. That happened to me 2 days ago, actually, or 3 days ago, on Monday. No. That's not 3 days ago. Many days ago. Sophia, you had a message. Let me see. Let me scroll up to see. And by the way, I made a video on my ASMR channel talking you down from a panic attack. So if that's ever relevant to you, it's there for you. Actually, Marmander, didn't you inspire me to make that video? Come to think of it, I think it was you, wasn't it, that asked me to make a video on it. Now, so dear Sophia, you share that your dad passed and you're here with your mother, Margaret. Can I give some words to your mother, please? Oh, of course, and thank you for your patience. A father fills so many roles in our life. And I really feel for your mother, as in some ways she has to take on those roles. It is truly amazing how a mother can take on those roles. I believe that a mother and a father, they exist with us always. Their physical presence may come and go. That's a long time to be married indeed. And his name is William, just like me. Your mother knows the miracle of having you born from her womb. But it is not the only miracle that happens in life. Just as we may be born from our parents at the beginning of our life, they are born into us at the end of theirs. Their address is merely that which has changed. No part of their essence is truly lost. When you walk up to a house of a loved one and you knock on the door and no one answers, it could just be that they have changed residence. In the same way, your father has changed residence from his physical body to your heart. And all of the same love that you can find in your father can be found in your heart. All of the love that he had given you, all of the memories, all of the joy, he was giving you bits and pieces of himself throughout his life. And in this final chapter, he has moved completely into the hearts of his loved ones. And very successfully, I might add. You know, a successful person might have multiple houses. They've got a house in the Bahamas. They've got a house in Beverly Hills. They've got a house in Australia. So your father is very wealthy because they've got a house in your heart, a house in your mother's heart, a house in the hearts of everyone they touched. And that essence of love that your father embodied passes through all these hearts, just in subtler ways now. And I am certain that you will notice that your relationship with him will keep on growing this is not the end of your relationship with your father, nor is it the end of your mother's relationship with her husband. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. You could say that until your father's death, it was a long-distance relationship. Now, it's a very close relationship because he's never not with you. That said, all of the things that we would have liked to do with the physical presence of our father, we will have to grieve for. And that process of grief is natural, as it is something that he deserves. As we grow in communion with someone, we develop so much love. We just have to find out where to put that love now, since we can't deliver it to the same address. Learning how to love in different ways, but the same essence. That is the process of grief, in my opinion. And that's a beautiful and difficult journey, and I wish you and your mother all the best in that. Most importantly, you're allowed to feel the way you're feeling right now. And hello, Sauce. And thank you, Double FD, for your heart me a few minutes ago. And flowers. Radhe or Radhe. Reminder, you share that you rewatch my panic attack video regularly. Oh, I'm happy that it's useful for you. And I am sorry that it is a common occurrence for you. You were the one who suggested it. I thought so. Well, I'll have to make a sequel for you so you can have some options. Of course, you're welcome, dear Sophia. I don't know if any of my words are relatable, but I know that you have given me renewed faith in the preciousness of the time that I have with my parents, and probably for everyone here too. That the time we spend with our loved ones is very precious, and I think I look forward to the future of your relationship with your mother. As we lose a loved one, we also become so much closer to our other loved ones, and that can be a beautiful gift as well. Now I have to solve a puzzle to prove that this is live. There we are. Thank you, Heather Havoc, for your community fest a few minutes ago. Jai Sitaram. And Maria, thank you for your heart me too. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. And thank you, Kent and Lisa, for your heart me. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And Tibishore, thank you for your heart me too. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. What was that mantra you shared with me, Sky Guardian, from your class? Om Shrim Klim Hrim Shaktiai Namaha. Thank you, Gina, for your Heart Me and Community Festival. Hari Om Tat Sat. Maha Shaktiai Nama Om. Oh, that's right. Swamiji put the Om at the end. And thank you, dear Sophia, for your rose. Radhe, Radhe. Inclusa, you share that the world needs healers like me. Oh, I disagree. On 2 accounts. The world does not need anything from us. But we need to give to the world because that's our duty. Secondly, I am no healer. I am only a channel, if anything, for healing to occur. But I cannot take credit for merely being witness to the potential naturally unfolding within you that I am grateful to perceive. The only thing I can do is not be there for you. So if I am there for you, that's just my nature. That's just the nature of everything. Being. I can't claim to possess that. Hello, Dreamy Kundalini. Thank you. Sky Guardian, you share. You can't find this mantra anywhere online. You don't know where he got it from. Well, the individual parts, Hreem, Shreem, Kreem, these are of course different bija mantras for the feminine. And of course the central divinity of this mantra is Shakti. Shakti embodies all the feminine, so it makes sense that all the bija mantras are applied to her. But not just Shakti, Maha Shakti. And Namaha, salutations. I could see how Swamiji just, I don't want to say came up with it, but just had it arise naturally within his experience, because all these words fit together so well. It makes sense. As you've told me, Swamiji is very much a prodigy in his Sanskrit understanding. I wouldn't be surprised if he has the qualifications to come up with mantras in this way. And thank you, Shakira, for your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. FFD, you're wondering, what is a mantra for male discipline, if there is anything like it? Well, discipline is an aspect of the divine masculine, and the complement of Shakti, the divine feminine, is Shiva. So, Om Namah Shivaya, classic mantra for the indwelling consciousness, that which centers us, much like discipline does. And thank you, Vince of York, for your heart me. And tiny. Yippee! And thank you, dear Sophia, for your rose a few minutes ago. Thank you for giving in a time in which you feel like you are lacking. That's very profound and deeply felt. Thank you, Cam, for your baker's dozen worth of roses still. Usha, you share. There is a mantra that clears the mind and removes fear and pain. Shrintipa nirajnana sabha dukha bhanjana. That's beautiful. Did you hear that from your Guru Dev, Ushabai? I actually have some, I noticed that the book that you gave me came with some mantras, or maybe this is more of a song, a bhajan. It's the Sri Guru Arati. This is beautiful. I'll have to sing it sometime, as soon as I learn how. Explorer, you ask, what was the thing that made me find the path to spirituality? And hello, spiritual solace. What was the thing? Well, it was no thing. That's what's so funny about it, is that the most important thing in my spiritual journey thus far was no thing at all. And I literally mean that. Nothing. And I'm not dismissing the question. I'm saying nothing with a capital N. If you think about nothing for long enough, and I don't just mean not having any thoughts, I mean thinking about nothingness as a concept, you will become spiritual very quickly. It was nothingness that devastated my atheism. The more I thought about nothingness, the more I realized God. How does that work? I'll let you think about it. I don't want to spoil the big secret. Oh, thank you for echoing Sophia's mom's comment, Marmander. I didn't see it. Let me find it. I can't seem to find it for some reason. Let me look extra close. I'm sorry. For some reason, I can't find it. Maybe if you could send it again, or if someone could echo it. Oh, it's not from Sophia, it's from your account directly. Well, that makes sense. I was looking for Sophia's name. Thank you. I'm always happy to have you here and your wonderful daughter. Much love to you. And best wishes and blessings during these trying times in any capacity I have. I definitely feel like an imposter giving blessings, as if I have that, but Ushar, you reminded me the other day that anyone can give blessings, and so I'm trying to be confident enough to do that. And thank you, John, for your heart me. John F. A couple Johns here. Inclusa, you share that Sartre. I always fail at pronouncing this philosopher's name. Sartre said, "Death doesn't exist because you can't think about it. While alive, it's impossible, and while dead, you can't think." I love that. Sky Guardian, you shared that something about Western religion and heaven does seem soothing sometimes than Advaita. Advaita makes you more anxious, but you don't know why you keep listening. Like, you don't like Advaita, but you can't stop listening and are so deep into it. Maybe deep down you like Advaita, but you don't know. Well, that's very honest, and I think it's beautiful that you feel comfortable enough to immerse yourself in a tradition that is not comfortable for the mind. That is a trademark of Advaita. In many ways, it's not meant to console your mind, but rather bring you beyond it. I think that's a mark of a genuine spiritual seeker, one that many others are not ready for, including myself. I don't feel that ready to embark on a path of Advaita Vedanta. So it's wonderful that you do. Chris, you are wondering, is Advaita the void? It's related to the void in many ways, but literally, Advaita means, coming from the word Dvaita, which means dual or two. Advaita literally means not two or non-dual. You could say in some very simplified sense that the void is all that there exists. But this would almost be neo-Advaitin in nature, a kind of meta-layer understanding that has arisen recently. But true Advaita Vedanta does not dismiss the existence of the world. It merely puts it as a temporary existence, or as something more akin to a void would be more permanent. The background layer, which is like space, which is like nothingness, that holds it all together. That is what is most real, because it's unchangeable, indivisible, and that is your essential nature. It is one of the main three interpretations of Vedanta. Vedanta refers to humanity's first revelations called the Vedas. And Anta means the end of, so Vedanta means the end of the Vedas, the culmination of the original revelation. And there's three ways of going about doing it. Advaita Vedanta, understanding that the Vedas are pointing to this truth that Brahman alone exists, that this non-dual substance is the only reality and all separation is illusory. Then there's Dvaita Vedanta, which is a dualistic understanding that no, there is a distinct independent existence happening between an individual and the rest of existence. And the third is Vashishtadvaita, which is kind of like a balance between the two, where we acknowledge that the ultimate reality is nirguna, without form, But there are meaningful distinctions that we can make that we don't have to dismiss as an illusion. Personally, I really like Vasishtadvaita because I also agree in that non-dual understanding of the world. But at the same time, we have differences on the worldly level. We are separate individuals at the level of material existence, and we genuinely live at this level for most of our existence, in the waking state at least. Thank you, He, for your rosa. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Ron, for your heart me too. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you, dear Sophia, for your beautiful gift of sending a subscription to your mother. Normally it is the mother that is giving, and I love how you are giving back. Such a sweet sentiment. Well, I look forward to being here for you just as I am for your mother. Much love. Britta, you ask, are there places in the world where one can dive into this philosophy more easily? Absolutely. I don't claim on having a unique philosophy, as it's a combination of many great teachers and teachings that have existed for thousands of years. If you want to learn more about Advaita Vedanta, one of our satsangis here, or I say satsangi not because I consider this a satsang, but because he is a participant of a genuine satsang of his guru, and that is Swami Tadatmananda. He is a great teacher of Advaita Vedanta. It was also the book that we finished reading long ago, before we started reading The Hidden Power in Humans and In Love at Ease. The first book that we finished together was Swami Tadatmananda's Roar the Ganges. So you can listen to the whole audiobook of that on my YouTube channel, but he also has weekly satsangs. I believe he just had one. And he has the Arsha Bodha YouTube channel from the physical center that he has in New Jersey. But I take inspiration from many great teachers. Vince of York, you share another one. There's Swami Sarva Priyananda. He's very unique, part of the Ramakrishna Math, a lineage descending from this very, very interesting being known as Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and his disciple Swami Vivekananda. I also, there's lots of Advaitin teachings in Buddhism as well. Buddhism, for all intent and purposes, is Advaita as well. It just, instead of saying that all is you, they say all is not you, and there is no you. Whereas the Advaita Vedantins, they say all is you, and there is no other. The Buddhists just do the reverse of that. Anyway, I would love to read from a Buddhist passage. I think we're getting close to finishing all of the 108 passages in this book. This one is written by a wonderful Buddhist nun named Pema Chodron. I think her health is having some troubles right now, but she has left us some great literature. We can continue reading from her words of wisdom. This one is called Tigers Above, Tigers Below. It's number 93. There is a story of a woman running away from tigers. She runs and runs, and when the tigers are getting closer and closer, she comes to the edge of a cliff. She sees some vines there, so she climbs down and she holds onto the vines. Looking down, she sees that there are tigers below her as well. She then notices that a mouse is gnawing away at the vine to which she is clinging. She also sees a beautiful little bunch of strawberries closer to her, growing out of a clump of grass. She looks up and she looks down. She looks at the mouse, and then she just takes a strawberry and puts one in her mouth, and she enjoys it thoroughly. Tigers above, tigers below. This is actually the predicament that we are always in terms of our birth and death. Each moment is just what it is. It might be the only moment of our life. It might be the only strawberry we'll ever eat. We could get depressed about it, or we could finally appreciate it and delight in the preciousness of every single moment of our life. That's number 93. Tigers above, tigers below. It's a fun one. Now thank you, Double FD, for your hand hearts that you sent. There's some for you. And thank you, Mahina, for your trio of roses. Om Bhur-Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitur-Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. AB, thank you for the W. And thank you, Peter Schaefer, for your rose. Radhe Radhe. And Jordan Elizabeth, thank you for your 25 roses. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. I hope you enjoyed that reading from Pema Chodron. Thank you, this, that, and things, for your heart me. Hare Krishna. I see that Sky Guardian and Vint of York had a fruitful conversation on Vedanta. I'm happy to see it came to resolution. Aurora, you're wondering, what does the idea of reincarnation mean to me? That's a very interesting question. In my life, when I think about reincarnation, I think about all the mothers I must have had, all the fathers, all of my brothers, my sisters, my lovers. I think about how I'm constantly surrounded by them, and though neither them nor I remember, there is a deeper remembering, a deeper memory. A butterfly could flap its wings past me, and that could have been my mother in a past life. I think about how those kids that bullied me used to be siblings in another past life. Sometimes sibling rivalry can transcend lifetimes. I think about how I must have been a mother to everyone, at least once. I think about how I must have promised them that I would love them forever and ever, but clearly I forgot to. Whenever I get angry or short-tempered with someone, I forget my promise I made lifetimes ago, that even though we might be different ages, different genders even, different social classes, a mother's love should transcend all of that, shouldn't it? So even those whom do not respect me, I have to keep my promise of motherly love with them also. A mother's promise is a promise, isn't it? This mind, this body might not remember, but I can remind my heart, can't I? Reincarnation makes us so much closer than we realize. That's what it means to me. It means that you know everybody already, just not in their latest style, their latest outfit, we call the body, their latest phase. That's such a sweet thing to say in Klusa. My kids or my heart beating outside. I love that. Thank you, Jay, for your dancing flower you sent just a minute ago. Hariom Tat Sat. Geometric art. You share. It's weird though that you could have been a parent in a past life to a current lover. Oh, I don't think it's that weird. I've seen many couples in which one of them is practically like one of the children. I've seen this where the husband is the naughtiest child of all the children. But also, I've seen many relationships where you promise them, I will love you in all ways that's possible. If you really mean that promise on the level of your soul, then in this life I'll be your lover, in the next life I'll be your mother, in the next I'll be your brother, you know? And in the next I'll be a cute little puppy looking up at you with big boba looking eyes. And in the next I'll be a helpful grandfather, here to give you words of wisdom and have good times in your childhood. I will love you for all eternity. I will be every possible partner to you in all kinds of relationships. Now that's a kind of love, isn't it? A very powerful one. A love that transcends lifetimes. Thank you, Kevin Knight, for your pair of roses and a heart me. Radhe or Radhe. And thank you, Marl, for your subscription. I am always happy to have you here. And you are such a beautiful addition to this world, and I'm grateful to have you a part of the Sangha too. Aurora, you clarify, so there is a soul that jumps from body to body, or do you think all consciousness is connected? Consciousness is indeed connected by definition of consciousness. For it to be categorically distinct from all objects of experience, and it cannot have any quality that would make it an object. Having a distinct location is one of the qualities of an object. Therefore, consciousness, by definition, as being a subject to all objects, but never an object itself, it must not have a location itself. So how is it that there is a distinct personality associated with a being? And how does that jump from body to body? Thoughts are a form of consciousness. I was listening to Swami Taratmananda talk about this. That the most simple form of consciousness is a thought. You ask what a thought is, it's a form of consciousness. Consciousness can exist without a form, but when it takes on a form, the simplest form it can take is a thought. And when enough thoughts combine, they form a mind, they form a antakaran, they form a jiva. Each thought is like an impression in that consciousness. And it's the impressions of that consciousness that move around. They may disperse upon death, but they also may concentrate again somewhere else. Can we as a group do that? Asks Crossfires. I love that question. We do form a being, a greater being, as considering ourselves part of a greater whole, like a community, and that being has a life of its own. In some sense, you could say that deities are the collective consciousness of everyone believing in them. They live as the thought force, as the form of consciousness that exists in the many. That the name of Shiva, for example, that is chanted across time for thousands of years by millions of practitioners, Shiva lives as the devotion that all of us held. And that's not to say that Shiva is just a creation of the human mind and that he has no real existence. That is to say that the human mind is divine and divinity lives within it. Adiyogi. Yes. Louis, you're wondering a age-old question. How did everything come from nothing? What a question. a question that has been asked for thousands and thousands of years. It was a question asked by the rishis of ancient India as this song came to them called the Nasadya Sukta. I'll read it to you. This is from the Rig Veda. In the beginning, the non-existent was not then, nor was the existent. The world was not, nor the interspace, nor that which is beyond. When there was nothing then, what could surround what? And where and in whose care the oceans of the bottomless deep then exist? There was no death nor immortality then. There was no sign of night nor of day. That one breathed without extraneous breath, with one's own nature. Other than that singularity, there was nothing beyond. In the beginning, there was darkness, intensified darkness, indistinguishable darkness. All this visible world was reduced to its primordial nature. This primordial world, which was enveloped by the all-pervading potency of one, before whom the material world is a trifle, became one, that is, came into existence through the force of their intense activity and spiritual fervor. In the beginning, divine will arose. This was the first seed of the mind of the Creator. Those who can see beyond by putting their mind and heart together found the binding link of the existent in the non-existent existing in the existent. These rays of divine will spread across the whole of the universe. They spread below and above, and the result was that small and great beings bearing prodigy were born. As the existence of the world was dependent on the divine will of the Creator, the position of material substance was lesser than that of the spirit which acted as the divine will. However, who truly knows, and who can declare whence it cometh, and whither it vanisheth? Even the divine people who know were born much after creation came into being. Who then knows whence it has come about? Whence this creation has come? Who holds or does not hold that one who is the witness in the highest abode? That one alone knoweth. And yet, doth that one even know? That's the Nasadya Sukta, the oldest exploration of creation in human literature or storytelling. Some people have dated that inquiry to 8,000 years old. Some of the Eastern scholars Western scholars don't believe that it's even possible to have a mind that could question like that 8,000 years ago. So they put it closer to 5,000. But traditionally, this is a very, very ancient inquiry called the Nasadya Sukta, part of the Rig Veda, humanity's oldest spiritual revelations. And one of my favorite parts about this is that it never actually answers the question. From reading that, do you have an idea of how it was created? As they even questioned if the creator knew where it all comes from. And I think that mystery, reveling in that mystery, is the essence of spirituality. That it's not about the answers, it's about questions that open you up to wonder, just as we were when we were children. We didn't have answers to how things worked, but yet, ideally, we were peaceful. We were peaceful in the fact that we wondered. And that reminds me of the way Lao Tzu begins the Tao Te Ching. Just realize I have the Tao Te Ching with me. I can read to you directly from it. Existence is beyond the power of words. To define, terms may be used, but are none of them absolute. In the beginning of heaven and earth, there were no words. Words came out of the womb of matter. And whether a person dispassionately sees to the core of life or passionately sees the surface, the core and the surface are essentially the same. Words making them seem different, only to express appearance. If name be needed, wonder names them both. From wonder into wonder, existence opens. Something very beautiful I find about the deepest parts of all religions is that there aren't actually any answers there, but mysteries so profound you might just slip into infinite peace. That the greatest salvation is not some conclusion, but a beginning. As we open into something that could never be concluded. Now you wanted to know which version of the Vedas I had. This one is by Pandit Satyakam Vidyalankar, simply called the Holy Vedas. It doesn't actually have all of the Vedas, just a selection. I think it even has some Upanishads at the end, as there is some pure Sanskrit rendered in Devanagari. Or I think what you're looking at there is the Rig Veda. Actually, are these the original Sanskrit of the Vedas at the end? I'm not quite sure. All I know is that the first significant portion of the book is just a collection of translations. You could say it's like a collection of people's favorite verses. It's bedtime for you, Inclusa. Well, I hope you have a wonderful sleep, and that your dreams are peaceful, and that you wake up in peace too. Hi, Slenny. You're wondering if I remember you from your cat passing away zombie. I do remember giving some of my own experience as I related with my own cat passing away. How are you doing now? How has grieving been the path of acceptance? It does end with the original text, but that's the original text of all the selected hymns, so it's not in any order. Besides the order that the compiler, Pandit Satyakam Vidyalankar, has provided. I love that. It's been better. It's been hard, but better. That's understandable. I'm happy to see you again. Thank you, JV, for your finger heart you sent a moment ago. Hare Krishna. And Dob Darker, thank you for your heart me. Slinny, you share that your wife recently cheated on you and now you're going through more. Oh, my dear. First, your wonderful cat, zombie. Now you have to adjust to a change in another close relationship. I am sorry to hear that. I hope that this space can provide you with any sort of comfort while you're here. Neither of those things are easy things to go through. That does sound like a lot. I believe you will get through this, though. You always have. And as long as you remember that, you always will also. Marcy, you share, hello, by the way. Guess what's for Din Din? Candied yams. You are eating my people. No. What can I say? I'm a bit of a candied yam myself. I try to be sweet. Sometimes I can be bitter. And I'm working on that. Thank you, Slenny. I'm also rubber, and you're glue. So anything you say sticks to you. If you find wonder in me, there must be wonder in you. Louis, you're wondering if I can play any instruments. Manjira? Do these count? Actually, there is a proper technique. I'm slowly learning it. Before I used to dangle them like this, and I would just hit them. Then I learned that there's a way of wrapping it around your fingers and doing it like this. But now there's a whole technique for where you hit it and the rhythm. You know what? I don't think I can even be said to know how to play these. It's like playing a note on a piano. I can play a note. I can play many notes, in fact. In fact, I can play all the notes on a piano. But whether or not I can put them together in a melodious way, well, I'll let God be the judge of that. "31 Planes of Existence, thank you for your flowers a moment ago. Hare Krishna." Priscilla, you share, I love piano. Well, I love that you love piano. Louis, you share that, well, melody is subjective, so you think I can play the piano. Well, thank you. Thank you. It would have to be a very interpretable piece of music, I guess. But you know, every now and then I love composing on my laptop. On my computer, I like playing with digital instruments, because then I can really put together a song without physically having to know how to play any instrument. Crispy Bacon, you play piano and guitar. I just love how many talented people are here. Just like you, Chris. FL Studio. Yes. Thank you, Katie, for your trio of roses. And Alexandra, for your rose too. Hari Om Tat Sat. John F., thank you for your beautiful flowers too. Om Kring Kalikaye Namaha. And Sleni, thank you for your beautiful paper crane. We used to have a paper crane around, but I think it's lost somewhere in my mother's backyard. As many other birds find themselves. To be fair, it's a good place to be lost. You'll use the same, Louis. That's fun. Hello, Savannah. My day has been well so far. Thank you for asking. So many Brazilians here. I don't know what it is about me. I seem to attract a lot of Brazilians. But I've learned a great deal about Brazilian culture through all my Brazilian followers, and that makes me happy. We have such a diverse audience here, and that's wonderful. And thank you, Alexandra, for your finger heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Brazilians must be my balance. They are very expressive, and I sometimes lack that level of cultured extroversion and interpersonal connection as is so rich there. I think they definitely add to my life at the very least. Good night, spiritual solace. And good night, Alexandra. Well, we are approaching the 2-hour mark, so I like to end my lives around there lately. I think it's a good place to stop, and I'll have plenty of time to do something with my father since I asked to do something with him. Thank you, Golay, for your rose too. But I'll wrap things up very slowly. Louis, you asked, do I think we can get enlightened without using substances? Of course. That's the traditional way of doing it. Many people have never touched a substance in their life, but have had profound spiritual experiences, perhaps even more intense ones than those who have tried many of them. Everything in moderation. Even though they're not necessary, doesn't mean they're not helpful to some people. some people begin to consider spiritual things after they have a psychedelic experience. And that's great. It's wonderful. Like Ram Dass, who knows if he ever would have met his guru, Neem Karoli Baba, if his colleague, Dr. Timothy O'Leary, didn't have him try a psychedelic. It can put you in a state of glimpsing at a higher reality, at a higher perspective. But if you want to be permanently established in that, and that does require going beyond merely what we do with our body. And you are wondering, how old am I, Slinny? I was just about to say I am well, thank you. That's my age. Doing good. That's how old I am. 22. 22 trips around the sun I've had in this body. Louis, you've heard people calling them, these substances, teachers of the earth. That's beautiful. Yeah, there is a definite teaching aspect to these experiences, assuming we're open to the teaching, of course. Crispy Bacon, you share that you met Timothy Leary at Berkeley. He was a trip. Oh, I imagine he was. That's very interesting. I'd love to hear more about that. When is my birthday? Asks Aurora. I really like my birthday because it's just ones and zeros. In the American format, it's 1 0 01 01 10:01:01, or in the international format, it's 01 10:01, which is fun. Binary. Love that. If you don't know, that's the 1st of October 2001. Crispy Bacon you share was a brief encounter. You have 2 good friends who were students of his at the time. Wow. That's very interesting. Thank you for sharing. Good evening, Guru Jared. Thank you, Slinny, for your pair of roses. Hari Om Tat Sat. That is true, Kevin. I was born just after 9/11. My parents were terrified that they were bringing someone into this world when all of these things were going on. There is that joke that everyone knows where they were at 9/11. Well, it's not really a joke, it's a true fact. But the joke is that I know where I was. I was in my mom. I was in her womb. So I was, in some sense, still alive during that time. But I don't want to joke about what is a national tragedy for my fellow Americans. I happen to be in Canada, but I also recognize how important it is to have respect for all those who, volunteered on Ground Zero. It's very traumatizing for many people. So I have a question of the day for you all, which I'd like to conclude my live stream with. Today I'm just wondering how your day has been. Nothing philosophical, unless you want to interpret it philosophically. You're welcome to. in any way. Magdalene, you share quite well. You listened to your body and spent most of the day resting while it was raining. That sounds lovely. I'm happy to hear that. I almost called you Maggie. Magdalene. Crossfires you share was productive, anxious, happy. I love all that. All natural. Well, being productive is optional, I might add. Explorer, you share it's been great. You've been making homemade Italian pizza, authentically, almost on, that sounds nummy. Selene, you share it's a little better now, but horrible. Well, I'm happy that's a little better, at least. Ingrid, you share it's better than the rest of your week, which was really tough or rough emotionally, maybe both. That makes sense. Priscilla, you share it's good and cold. Crispy Bacon, you share it's raining there in Austin as well. Rhiannon, you share your day was good, sunny and hot, just the way you like it. I love that for you. And Daninsky, you share it's affirmative. Good. It's good to be affirmed. Thank you for telling me. Sue, you share it's been good overall. Few ups and downs, but took care of yourself. Went to your local sangha, just got ice cream. It does sound like a successful day. Glusa, you also have homemade pizza. Wow. It's always a good day when you have homemade pizza. Orla, you share it's been wild. Traveling abroad to visit family. That does sound hectic. Family dynamics always are for some reason. Dreamweaver, you share that you helped the lady you just met move. Gave you half of her things. Lifted her spirit during a tough transition. That's a beautiful thing to do. Ragnhild, you share it's been a little tense while introducing two cats to each other. Oh, I imagine. That does sound intense. Crispy Bacon, you're having a tofu stir fry soon for you. That also sounds delicious. Dear April, you share it's been tiring due to your illnesses. Well, I hope you get the wonderful rest that you deserve in any capacity that's possible for you. John F., you shared today was emotional, rainy. Kind of felt visited by your boyfriend. Oh, that's beautiful. Gula, you share family is so nice. Having a community of loved ones. Very nice indeed. Starlight, wow, you share that your day is just the beginning. It's morning here. Well, let me ask you instead. How do you want your day to be? What intention do you set for today? And Mr. Mate, you share your day has been a tragic drama filled with make or break character building moments. Wow. Well, that's a powerful way of putting it. I feel you there. Make. I've decided for you. Because your spirit cannot be broken. This I have faith in. Fox Forever, you share you spent a day flirting with this guy in Boston. He doesn't want to marry me. Oh well. Well, that sounds like an emotionally eventful day. I hope you give yourself some emotional rest too. I hope you had fun. Alright, Starlight, wow, you share you want your day to be peaceful and working towards some things you need to do. Beautiful. I believe this is a possibility for you. Jessica, you took your daughter's crib apart and put her new bed together with her. It was sad and empowering. That is a very symbolic transition in life. That's beautiful. Crispy Bacon, you share, you're so old, you don't remember how to flirt. Well, I don't think I ever learned how, so we're on the same page, just on other ends of the spectrum. Marcy, you took a nap, ate dinner, and cleaned up your room. Not in that order. Well, there's only 5 other orders it could be, so you either ate dinner, took a nap, and cleaned up your room, or cleaned up your room, ate dinner, took a nap, or you took a nap, you cleaned up your room, you ate dinner, or you ate dinner, took a nap, and cleaned up. There, we've covered all bases. All the 3 factorial bases. I think. I might have repeated one. It was the second one? Well, I don't remember what the second one was. Dreamweaver, you missed the Flirting 101 thing too. Yeah, I think it's neurospicy people like myself. We just don't get it. I know I don't anyway. You know, you could be so direct with me and I still wouldn't know what's happening. I think we're just friends. Thank you, Gina, for your GG and Community Fest. Hari Om Tat Sat. And dear Sarah Lynn, thank you for your heart me and hand hearts. There's some for you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I love you too, Frederica. Federica. You have a fun name. How did my day go? My day has been well. I woke up with anxiety, but it always passes. And I look forward to the rest of my day. Now I'd love to read from another section of The Hidden Power in Humans with you. Now that we've explored the question of the day together, thank you for that. Thank you, Gulai, for your rose, and Sarah Lynn for your W. Oh, you know what? I'm just repeating gifts, aren't I? Or am I? Are these new? I don't know. My gratitude for you remains. Let us read from another section of The Hidden Power in Humans. And hello, Marlon. Welcome. We left off talking about karma and how karma, which as a Sanskrit word refers to actions and deeds, it comes in 3 forms. There's the accumulated karma from all past lifetimes, that's sanchita karma. There's the karma which is currently coming to fruition, the prarabdha karma, and there's the karma that we're currently undertaking, the one that we're engaged in creating right now, the kriyamana karma. When we plant an apple seed in the earth, then naturally an apple tree grows. We can only expect apples from it and no other fruit. It would be ridiculous to expect an orange coming from an apple tree. And in the same way, the seeds of our actions also produce the appropriate effect. The law of karma says that the energetic vibration arising from each action will one day come back to the one it originated from, either with the same qualities or even stronger through other intervening interactions. Through our actions, we plant the quote-unquote seeds of our future destiny, and therefore, whatever happens to us is the quote-unquote fruit of our own past. If we think and act negatively, we increase the disaster-bringing influences of our destiny, whereas positive thoughts and deeds develop the happiness-bringing potential. That's funny, Explorer. Sadhguru said, "Banana once came off a mango tree." No. There are two types of adverse actions. Those we perform unconsciously, and those we do consciously and against our better judgment. Undoubtedly, the latter weigh more heavily. Those who make a mistake out of ignorance do not invite such heavy karma to themselves as those who intentionally inflict harm and pain. But just as poison affects us, even if we take it unknowingly, suffering caused unintentionally and therefore unconsciously also gives rise to an appropriate karmic effect. The great sage and poet Sri Tulsidas said, "Our destiny was shaped long before the body came into being." Just as a farmer first prepares their field so that they can later harvest a crop, we have first sown our destiny and, according to plan, those circumstances through which it can be fulfilled are produced. If destiny is fashioned in this way, then what point is there to our efforts? Are we merely puppets, so to speak, moved by the thread of an inevitable fate? Not at all. We are able to exert an influence and alter the course of providence. What happens to us is predetermined in the same way as the target of an arrow that has already been shot. Its course is foretellable and predictable, unless it is deflected or diverted by a new influence. Even though the events of our destiny are, in fact, lawfully caused and steered as a consequence of earlier actions, we do, however, have the opportunity to avert, or at least lessen the impact through our present behavior. We are therefore in a position to change our course of destiny, but only if we do something about it. And not just anything, but the right thing at the right time. Through positive actions, pure thoughts, prayer, mantra, and meditation, we are able to resolve the influence of the karmas from which we are suffering in this present life, and in this way gradually turn our destiny around for the better. The spiritual master helps us with this. They know the karmic formula, and is aware of the sequence in which our earlier and present actions will bear fruit. That is why they are able to advise us and show us how we can partially or completely deflect the quote-unquote arrow of our karmas, and so we escape avoidable sorrows. What does our karma look like? I mean, one can neither touch it nor see it. When fortunate or unfortunate events affect us, we say, "That was lucky," or "That was unlucky." But it is really our own vibration that pulls us towards luck or misfortune. We are driven hither and thither by it, just like a boat moved about in the wind and currents. Karma is a vibration that surrounds our subtle phenomen. I've never heard of this word before. Our phenomen is our energy and radiation that surrounds us. It is the expression of our entire personality, the sum of our total sheaths, our koshas. I guess it's our aura, so to say. Its fine vibration is not limited spatially and accompanies us everywhere. The effect of our phenomen can be compared with a dynamo that generates two kinds of energies, negative and positive. Positive karmas, love, forgiveness, help and selfless service, practicing mantra, prayer and meditation, generate a positive healing energy that purifies and enlightens our phenomen. If the being of a person is filled only by the radiance of positive and divine qualities, their phenomen is completely illuminated. Such a person is a quote-unquote enlightened one who is united with God, because God is love, light, harmony, knowledge, reality, truth, and unity. However, through negative thoughts, words, deeds, and harmful qualities such as anger, hatred, jealousy, attachment, passion, greed, fanaticism, and egotism, destructive energies are produced which darken our phenomen. We produce negative karma because we lack knowledge and clarity. Any relationship to Hanuman? No, I don't think this is even a Sanskrit word, that it has the umlaut. Or is that what they're called? The double dots over the A. The purpose of our existence here on earth is to gain correct knowledge and insight. If we do not make use of this opportunity and remain in ignorance, then after death we must again return to the world in a new birth to clear all unresolved karmas. Whether we believe it or not, rebirth is a fact. As humans, however, we have the possibility to make more rapid progress towards the light through the practice of good karma. This is why we should not allow the precious opportunity given by a human life to slip by. We are all travelers who have come to the hotel of the earth just for one brief night. Soon a new day will dawn and we must again depart. We can take nothing with us. Everything remains here except the quality of our actions. So we'll pause our reading of the hidden power in humans with such a wonderful discourse on karma. Next time we'll read about the Panchakosha, the 5 sheaths, the 5 layers of our being, from our physical body all the way to our Anandamayi Kosha, the sheath of bliss itself. So thank you for listening. And we will be ending the live stream here tonight. So I thank you. I am so grateful for this opportunity to read with you all. Thank you, Gulai, for your rose. And Saralyn, thank you for your W. Oh, I'm doing it again. I'm thanking you for gifts that I already thanked. But hey, my gratitude always remains. There are new gifts, though. Saralyn, thank you for your pair of popcorns. And your tiny. Yippee! Thank you for your music play. And your let 'em cook. Hare Krishna. And thank you, Sophia, for your rose too. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I am just filled with so much love for all of you and the space we have here. Thank you, Sue. Much love to you, Sophia. Good day, Marcy. I'm happy that you enjoyed the reading, Don Suela. You're always such a beautiful addition. Good night, dear Marlon. Good night, April. Sleep well, Gina, whenever you get there. And thank you for sharing your blessings with everyone, Magdalene. As always, I will be uploading the recording of this live to my Yamsox, not Yamsox Lives, but Yamsox ASMR YouTube channel, since I feel like this live stream could be used for relaxation and sleep and other ASMR purposes on the ASMR channel. And today I just recorded the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita for my ASMR series on the same channel. It's there in the link tree in my bio. This is an ancient scripture that I've been whispering a chapter at a time with you all. I hope you enjoy it. And the readings are all clipped and they're uploaded to the Yamsox Lives YouTube channel in dedicated playlists. In case you wanted like an impromptu audiobook with full of mistakes and interruptions, but it's there if you ever want to catch up on anything we've been reading. That's very funny, G2 Infinity. Thank you for your love, Tansuela. Federica, you're wondering, where am I from? Canada is where I am physically based. And thank you for sharing your love to Orla and Suspicious Bee. And good night, Crossfires. Sophia, you're wondering, how do I spell my YouTube name? Well, it's just the same as my username here, Yamsox, Yamsox, followed by lives for all the lives, or ASMR for all the ASMR. It's also linked in the link tree in my bio. So if you just want to tap your way there without having to type on your keyboard. And thank you, Sky Guardian, for spelling it for dear Sophia. And Clusa, you're still awake? Well, I hope you get some wonderful sleep. May this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you that I revere Sri Radha Krishna. Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Shyam Shyam, Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Sue, for your ice cream. And Sarah-Lynn, thank you for your rose. Good night, Inclusa. No, I have not been to Nova Scotia. Jocelyn. Good night, Anna. Radhe Radhe. And thank you, dear Ushabai, for your wonderful rose. May you have a wonderful night, afternoon, evening, morning. May you all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. And thank you, Frankie, for your heart mito. And namaste.